Hey, Kevin here, and I got a question for you. Do you have a plan, a framework, a process of how you're going to accomplish that vision? You know, that thing in you that if you don't do it, it won't get done. That thing that's been bugging you, that thing that's been, kind of hanging around in your head, and you're kind of wondering, how do I bring this thing to life? In this episode of Performance Edge Weekly, we're going to break down a little bit of a process and a framework to help get you going so you can pursue that vision and bring that vision to life. Now, it all started last week in my head with this one because I was talking to a gentleman who was starting his coaching business. And he was kind of wondering, how do I get clients and how do I get started? And it was one of those things where he didn't expect the answer that I gave him because it wasn't about coaching people for free, and it wasn't about, doing a bunch of posts online and starting a Facebook and getting in. It wasn't anything social media oriented. It was simply this. Do you know who your who's are? Do you know what you're asking for? Do you know what you're telling about? Do you know the timelines that you're leveraging? And do you have a way that you circle back to keep everybody engaged and informed of the progress of the process that you're going through? That's what we're going to break down today. Now, here's the deal. Tim Ferriss said this, very famous quote from Tim Ferriss, author of the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, where he talks about life punishes the vague wish, but rewards the specific ask. And today we're going to break down, hey, who are the who's? First and foremost, you need to know who the who's are. And this is a Horton, here's a who, and I don't care who to who, but you need to know who your who's are. And so you need to make a list. Now, that list can consist of a number of different people in your life. It could be people who are aspirational in terms of who you want to meet with. And most of the time I tell people, hey, nail down the backyard before you go in the front yard. You have all kinds of people in the backyard who know, who like, and who trust you, who want what's best for you, and you should unpack those dreams and those visions and those goals with them. But I want a list of those people. There should be at least 25. Everybody should have 25, at least 25, that fit that framework. Hey, my backyard, here are the people who know, like, and trust me. And then the second part of it is then, hey, what am I going to ask them for? Like, hey, these are the things you can do to help me. Now, we often don't formulate or construct or even detail what our asks are in light of this vision that we have or the difference we want to make. In some cases, in my case, sometimes I ask people to pray for me. Will you pray for me in this? Or in some cases, I'm saying, do you know anyone who maybe this particular vision would help in some particular way? And could you connect me with them? I want you to specifically think about the asks that you're going to make during those 25 meetings that you're going to have in the next 30 days. Yes, 25 meetings in 30 days. It's about working that list. It's about getting in front of those people. You are not selling anybody. You're building something. You hear me on this? You're not selling anything. You're building something. You need to tell them what you're building. And that becomes the next part. What are the tells? The tell is the whole idea of what is the difference you want to make with what you want to do? What is the impact you want to have? What am I telling people about this? So, hey, maybe I don't have an ask for you, John, but you know what? I got a tell for you. And I want to tell you what I'm all about. And then at the end of the day, when I do my asks and my tells, I begin to unpack my timelines. Hey, here are my limitations. Here is the frame that I'm working in. And baby, and here's the crazy thing. Maybe you see feedback in that and say, hey, does that seem like a realistic timeline? Or should I do something? Get feedback from them. Because there's the thing that comes out, this huge invisible. You now have 25 people working for you. 25 people. There's this guy out there, and I'm going to look him up here in my notes. There's this guy out there, and his name is Noah Kagan, and he started a company called AppSumo. Started a bunch of companies, very famous, and he talks about comfort challenges. And this is really, in a sense, doing this is a little bit of a comfort challenge for you, because once you go out there and put yourself out there, you feel that wonky feeling, I might be judged. And so when he talks about comfort challenges, he talks about the whole idea of asking for a discount on your coffee, or bargaining for your groceries at Walmart, or whatever. And a lot of it is just kind of pushing you through, that whole like fear dynamic, fear of failure. And we just want to get out of that. I do believe that, though, this connects with what Noah's talking about, because doing the who's and the asks and the tells and the timelines, and then conveying to them that you want to circle back. I want to come back and give you my updates, gets everybody in the game about the difference you want to make. And I'm telling you, when you are doing that, when you set those circle backs and those updates, it gives you accountability to push through the quitting points. Because once you leave everybody, it's just you. And it's chopping wood, and it's carrying water, and it's finding out what's next. And then pretty soon, when you feel like it's all dried up, you get a text from somebody saying, hey, I was talking to someone about your thing. And then they tell somebody, and then it makes a whole nother meeting, a new meeting, and a more profound level meeting. I'm telling you, this is how you start to take something and bring it to life. So this is a performance edge, guys. And I'm telling you, there's tons of invisibles packed in here. And when you begin to see them, you will be a beast. You will go into beast mode. You will not want to take your foot off the gas. So yes, is it hard to get the party started? 100%. But in this 6-minute and 30-second video, if you've made it this long, you've learned one thing. And being on all these with me, it's when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. This is your way, you become unstoppable. So go out there, meet some people, tell them all about it. Do the asks you need to ask. Set the timelines and the circle backs and watch what happens, because you will be unstoppable. Fasten your seatbelts.